This is what a natural pine forest looks like. Green needles, straight trunks. And this is what a pine forest looks like in the most contaminated areas of Chernobyl.
That junk is twisted
trunk
up.
is twisted,
crazy.
stunted, and misshapen.
That looks like a fantasy
the wood
tree.
has changed its color.
Yo, what's up? We got a video today here by Fern again. The Mutated Animals of Chernobyl. Now, if y'all don't know about the Chernobyl incident that occurred quite a few years ago, I think it was like, is it like over like 30 years ago now? Or is it like 50? I think it was quite a bit a ways ago. I don't remember exactly when, but in my head I pictured it's like between like 1930 and 1970 or 1980. Let's look at that real quick. He's probably gonna say it in the video, so go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and let's start this junk. Let's start. I'm ready. Got some good food today too. Just finished exercising.
Something about this forest feels off.
Okay.
Pines twist into bizarre shapes. Spider webs hang crooked and uneven. Red firebugs are crawling on the ground, but the patterns on their backs are warped. A bird flies overhead. Its beak is deformed. There's a reason for all this. This forest sits inside a highly radioactive exclusion zone. It's one of the most contaminated places on Earth.
Have you ever seen that?
Not far from here, the largest nuclear disaster in history happened in 1986.
Nuclear accident in the Soviet Union, and the Soviets have admitted that it happened.
Deadly radiation is being released from
Thousands died from the radiation's immediate and long-term effects. For humans, the area remains mostly uninhabitable until today. But nature stayed. Plants and animals, wolves, deer, wild horses, birds, and insects.
Didn't know what was
But the radiation changed them.
Yo. Okay, let's see.
Spring 1986, in the dead of the night.
So it is 1980s. Okay.
Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant has just exploded. Massive
what I was
amounts
thinking.
of highly
So about
radioactive
50 years,
material like iodine and cesium
Between
are
30 and
hurled
50
into
years.
the
I
air.
thought so. I was
The
like,
radiation
something tells me
seeps
like
into the
1980.
cells of all living things in the area, including this deer. 30 minutes after the blast, it's dizzy and barely able to stay on its feet. The radiation has burned the mucosal tissue inside its digestive tract. Cells all across its body start dying. Blood circulation in the brain falters. And since the blood can't flow properly, pressure builds inside the skull. The deer's blood pressure crashes. It suffers seizures and multiple organs fail. The next day, the deer is dead. In the following days and weeks, the pine needles change color. First to yellow, then to red. Trees die for kilometers around, giving the area a new name, the Red Forest. A few kilometers away, a shepherd dog lives in the town of Pripyat. For the past day, it's been feeling unwell, tired and nauseous. Its owners are worried. They too feel under the weather, though they don't know why. Then a voice crackles over the radio with an announcement.
Внимание, внимание! Уважаемые товарищи! Городской совет народных депутатов.
Residents are informed about an accident at the nearby nuclear plant, but they are assured everything is under control. Just to be safe, people are told to leave town for 3 days, and to leave their pets behind. The family assumes they'll be back soon, so they leave enough food for the dog for a few days. But the Soviet authorities are lying. They're doing everything in their power to cover up a nuclear disaster of unprecedented scale. Like tens of thousands of others, this family will never return. Their dog is on its own now.
That dog is cooked.
3 days
Like
later,
literally
the food is gone.
and figuratively.
On the fourth day,
The
he
radiation
leaves the
about to cook
house,
him.
hungry and searching for anything to eat. He encounters other dogs wandering the empty streets. They too were abandoned and left behind. Suddenly, shots are fired. The Soviet authorities have ordered police to kill all stray dogs, an attempt to stop the animals from spreading radioactive material. The dogs flee into the forest. Just like all the other animals
Why
here,
didn't they
they
just bring
find
the dog?
themselves in the heart of the world's largest nuclear exclusion zone. Radiation remains dangerously high for months. Many animals develop chronic radiation sickness. Blood pools in their livers and spleens. Lymph nodes swell. Thyroids fail. The animals grow thin, and many die.
Dang, man.
Over the next 10 years, radiation levels drop significantly. The only humans left are workers and guards looking after the ruins of the nuclear plant. Beyond that, the area is almost completely abandoned. In this vast and empty space, wildlife can spread freely. Over the years, the zone evolves into one of Europe's largest nature reserves. Countless
Interesting.
animals settle in, bears and lynx, moose and foxes, and multiple packs of wolves.
So are they chilling
Even
through
some
it?
of the original residents remain. Hundreds of street dogs, descendants of the pets left behind, roam the area. Swallows skim over the treetops. Frogs leap through the undergrowth, and they are all followed by their silent companion, the radiation. The first thing you notice are the
Turtles?
eyes.
One of the first signs of
Oh,
exposure
yeah,
to
multiple
radiation
eyes.
is something called cataract in the eye. It's a cloudiness of the lens of the eye that happens to people who are exposed to higher levels of radiation.
That's Timothy Mousseau. He's a biology professor at the University of South Carolina. Few people know the creatures of Chernobyl as well as he does. He's talking to us from a research ship in the middle of the Pacific, studying the effects of nuclear weapon testing on wildlife.
He's out there now?
We've had many exciting visits to Chernobyl. I've been going to Chernobyl pretty much 2 or 3 times a year, sometimes 4 times a year.
Is it
The
safe now?
so-called cataract is a clouding of the lens in the eye. It's a common disease in humans known as gray star. It blurs the vision, and its most severe form can cause total blindness. The high radiation levels in Chernobyl cause many animals to develop cataracts.
Dang, man.
The landscape itself has changed too. This is what a natural pine forest looks like. Green needles, straight trunks. And this is what a pine forest looks like in the most contaminated areas of Chernobyl.
That junk is
This
twisted
trunk
up.
is twisted,
Crazy.
stunted, and misshapen.
That looks like a fantasy
The wood
tree.
has changed its color. If you look closely
The
at
wood's
the rings,
different?
you can see exactly when the disaster happened.
Yo, the ring's
Near the
darkened?
base, there are these strange clusters
Permanently?
of tangled leaves called witches' brooms.
Or at least, like,
This
for
forest
now?
doesn't just look eerily strange. It's a stark reminder of what our
Whoa.
actions can do to nature. Seeing it can make you feel powerless, but it doesn't have to be that way. Planet Wild is a community-based environmental
Heck yeah.
protection organization.
Heck yeah.
Think of it as crowdfunding for nature. Every month, their community
Hey,
funds
I
a
love
carefully
that, man.
selected rewilding project.
If y'all know about Aspiration, there's this company called Aspiration. I think they rebranded recently to, they're called GreenFi, but they have like banks and like your cards and stuff. But whenever you spend the money, you get to donate to, like, it donates a percentage of it whenever you spend money to planting trees and stuff like that. And like you can invest in like the green. They made their own like ETF for stocks and things like that. Stocks and investments for all like green companies and things like that that are pushing for better environmental control, environmental care. So it's really cool. If y'all haven't seen it, look into it. I highly encourage it.
To
Highly.
restore forests,
But let me skip through this. Planet Wild is lit. Love that.
after that, every forest has spider webs. Normally, they're neat and symmetrical like this. But here, in Chernobyl's most contaminated areas, the gaps in the strands are far too large. The patterns are warped and chaotic. This is what a barn swallow usually looks like. Note the distinctive combination of blue-black feathers and a red face. This one from Chernobyl has white patches on its face. Its tail feathers are crooked and its beak deformed, stuck slightly
Dang.
open. A lump protrudes beneath its plumage. A
Dang,
tumor.
man.
Many changes are not visible from the outside. You can't see that this swallow will live a shorter life and have lower chances to successfully reproduce. Red firebugs are native to Central Europe. Their vibrant red and black coloring with its symmetrical patterns helps ward off potential predators. But Chernobyl firebugs are different. The patterns on their backs are warped and asymmetrical. Some are missing an eye, and the fine black lines are blurred. All of these changes trace back to mutations in the genetic code. This is where the DNA is
what do
stored,
they normally look
the
like?
blueprint for the
Did you
insect's
show them?
entire organism. DNA is made up of 2 strands, twisted together in a shape called a double helix. It's made up of base pairs. The genetic
You ever seen
information
somebody
is
do a
stored in
yo-yo
a
trick for the
sequence of
DNA?
these
The DNA
bases,
yo-yo trick?
kind of like a computer
saw that
carrying
yesterday.
information using ones and zeros.
It's lit.
Several of those bases form a gene. The body reads the sequence through complex molecular processes. Genes act as a blueprint. They determine how the bug looks, the pattern on its back, and what it can and cannot digest.
Shout out to biology class.
They also
man.
influence how long it lives,
Or
its
chemistry,
vulnerability to certain diseases, and even its behavior. Scientists believe these blueprints make up only a tiny fraction of our DNA. Studies in humans suggest that around 8 to 15% of DNA are functional and actively doing something important. Radioactive atoms like uranium and cesium are unstable. They decay spontaneously, releasing radiation. That radiation carries so much energy it can damage living cells the moment it makes contact.
Yo,
It can break DNA directly or split the water molecules in a cell.
that's so crazy.
This creates smaller particles called free radicals. These free radicals then rip through the DNA. Base pairs can be swapped or deleted entirely, or the entire DNA strand can break apart.
That's
when radiation hits the DNA, it damages it. Most of the time, the damage is repaired, but often, if there's enough radiation, this damage will persist. Sometimes it will lead to a disease like a cancer or a tumor or some other developmental problem.
Many of these mutations have no effect. The body either repairs them or they occur in parts of the DNA that don't serve an important function. But sometimes those repairs go wrong, and that's when lasting changes can happen, like the ones we see in Chernobyl. These changes can even be passed down to future generations.
That's so crazy.
But some of the animals around Chernobyl aren't just mutated. They seem
So
to
the
have
whole
adapted
bloodline.
and are thriving in their new environment.
Interesting. Their whole bloodline is like different now from that. That's
This
crazy.
is a tree frog.
Like in that
Normally
area.
tree frogs are green.
That's definitely like the
But
100.
here in the exclusion zone, some of them are
Granted,
pitch
it was
black.
based on that.
The dark
Yo,
pigmentation likely comes from melanin.
melanin?
Melanin
My
is
black
what makes
frog
your skin darker
brothers.
in summer. Your body produces
Hey,
it to
let's
shield
link
your
up on
skin
Mount
from
Neobokus
sunlight.
on, bro.
But melanin can also help protect against other types of radiation. According to a 2022 study, the darkest frogs in Chernobyl were found in areas where radiation levels used to be especially high. So does that mean they've adapted to high radiation? Timothy Mousseau is not convinced. He says the data isn't strong enough to prove a causal link.
Frogs in Chernobyl show no relationship between the melanism and radiation level currently. So inside Chernobyl zone, there are light frogs in highly radioactive areas and there are dark frogs in clean areas.
That is just one of the many scientific debates around Chernobyl's wildlife. What can truly be
But were there
verified
black
and
frogs
what's too
before the
speculative?
Chernobyl accident?
Both sides hold firmly to their findings. There's another
were they
organism
black
that
before
may
then?
be putting the benefits of melanin to work. This black fungus. One of them
Hey.
grows here, right inside Reactor 4, one of the most irradiated places on the planet.
That's the one that
Radiation
melted
levels
down,
remain
right?
so high that nothing should be able to survive here. And yet, this fungus is thriving. Multiple independent studies suggest that
survive
this
anywhere,
fungus
bro.
may actually be using gamma radiation as an energy source, much like plants use sunlight for photosynthesis. Unlike in the frogs, the melanin in this
That's
fungus
lit.
doesn't just block radiation. It seems to convert it into energy, which the fungus then uses to grow.
Yo, that's lit.
Melanized
Bro.
fungi like this one have been found in other highly radioactive places. Astronauts have
Bro.
even studied it aboard the
Come on
International
now.
Space Station.
Come on now.
Researchers hope that one day this fungus could act as a natural shield against radiation, perhaps for space travel. As for the fungi in the reactor, it's still unclear whether they've truly adapted to the radiation or if they were
It looks
just
like they did.
inherently able to cope with it.
Oh, okay.
Larger mammals
Yeah,
may
because
have adapted to radiation
fungi move
exposure as
different.
well.
When it
At
comes to
least
life,
that's what biologist
fungi
Kara
move
Love and her
different.
colleagues at Princeton
They're
University
they're
believe.
cool with whatever.
They
They're
suspect
just
that
like, all right,
wolves
we'll
living in the
thrive here.
Chernobyl exclusion
We'll just
zone
turn
may be
everything
less
into
likely
energy.
to develop cancer or
Turn
more
it into, put it
resilient
into
to
the
the disease
mycelium.
overall, despite constant exposure to high radiation levels. The theory
Excuse
goes
me.
like this. Random and spontaneous mutations in DNA make some wolves less vulnerable to cancer. These wolves have a higher
Nice.
chance of survival, while others are more likely to die from the long-term effects of radiation, often from cancer itself. The survivors reproduce. Natural selection happens.
And then they keep
Their offspring
becoming,
inherit the protective genes.
yeah, they
Over
keep
time, they
becoming
breed with
immune
wolves
to it.
that are also better adapted to radiation, and so on and so forth. After a few generations, the whole pack is less prone to cancer. Researchers say the wolf's DNA evolved in regions around genes linked to the body's immune response to cancer. But is that actually realistic?
Life finds a way.
The research hasn't been published yet,
Oh, it's a
which means
theory.
there's no way for us or anyone else to verify it.
Oh, okay.
This study and many others have one thing in common.
I thought they had something.
They all suggest that the Chernobyl nuclear disaster may have triggered evolution right before our eyes.
That's so crazy.
Other scientists remain
Like
skeptical,
rapid
including
evolution.
Timothy
Usually that
Mousseau.
junk takes millions
We
of
wrote
years,
a
but this is
paper
like
a few
change
years
that's
ago
happening
where we
within like
reviewed
50
all
years.
of the literature that had
That's
been published
crazy.
on Chernobyl, claiming to test for adaptations and rapid evolution, and in every case except for maybe one, the data were too weak. They did not have the strength, the scientific strength, to support this hypothesis of adaptation.
Mousseau has studied potential adaptations himself. He and his colleagues sampled colonies of certain bacteria in Denmark and at various sites across Chernobyl. The colonies are often found on the wings of swallows, among other places. Back in the lab, they exposed both sets of bacteria to radiation. Some colonies from Chernobyl actually reproduced better under radiation,
Whoa.
especially those that had lived for years in areas with moderate background radiation. By contrast, colonies from Denmark, as well as those from the most highly contaminated parts of Chernobyl, were far less resistant to radiation. Because the experiment was carried out under carefully controlled lab conditions, the researchers are confident that this adaptation wasn't caused by any other environmental factor. To study the animals of the exclusion zone, Timothy Mousseau set up around 100 motion-activated cameras throughout the area.
That's lit.
In late 2021, they
Yo, is
recorded
that a
something
black
strange.
pig,
Russian soldiers.
though? Okay.
In
they
February
do, though?
2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Russian troops
true.
occupied the exclusion zone for weeks.
Oh, they went through Chernobyl.
Overnight, nearly all research in Chernobyl ground to a halt. Some scientists were forced to flee the zone.
On some crazy
When
stuff.
the Russian
man.
forces
was
finally
3
withdrew
years
in the
ago
spring of 2022,
that they started
researchers
that.
returned to find their work in ruins.
They took
Military
it?
vehicles had kicked up radioactive dust. Offices and labs had been ransacked. Computers and valuable equipment were stolen or destroyed. Long-term surveys were interrupted, and some irreplaceable research data
Whoa.
may be lost forever.
Whoa, y'all
Several
are bugging.
promising studies were put on hold indefinitely.
Over nothing, bro. Over
Kara
war,
Love and her
bro.
team never got the chance to return and study the wolves in the field. It's a bitter blow
What?
to our understanding of the world.
Bro, y'all
Don't
are
forget to check out
ruining
Planet Wild
the
and become a
world,
member.
bro.
If you want to see them in action,
I'm
check
glad
out their
that Planet
project
Wild is
protecting
the
one of
sponsor of this
Europe's last
video, because, like, bro, nah, man, y'all out here ruining valuable research that could be used for, like, space exploration and protecting against radiation for a random war that probably won't even amount to anything but just foolishness. Bro, that's upsetting. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's upsetting. But with that said, let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what y'all think about this radiation business, man. Y'all think y'all can tank it? Let me know. Bye.